Just a short video today, folks. Well, for now, but Cecil, a way back, suggested to us, why don't we go after somebody that has a following? Now, I know his strategy behind that was to take the heat off him, but there is a trick to that. Now, my next video, and I'm going to do a couple of videos on somebody else that's not Cecil. Here's the thing. Cecil should have kept his mouth shut, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover another gentleman with a narcissistic tendencies, and has openly admitted to abusing a number of women. But that's not going to take the heat off Cecil, because I have noticed in the past when I've covered Cyrix, or I've covered ex-Scientology stuff, I get more views than I get from Cecil. Here's the thing. If you're looking for, content on Cyrix or SPTV or ex-Scientology protests or whatever, you see my video and you watch it. And if you do enjoy it, you may want to watch another one of those videos. So you have to go searching through my videos. And there is where you will find those high street paranormal videos, the Cecil videos. And a lot would wonder, why so many videos on high street paranormal or Cecil, or who's this Cecil guy? So they'll go and investigate. Just like when Master Shredder covered Cecil. Or not Cecil, Cyrix. Some may want to watch more. There may not be more, but they'll see all these high street paranormal videos and they'll go, who's this Cecil person? And if they start watching those videos, then you're going to get more engagement. So Cecil, you should have kept your mouth shut, because what I'm about to do, in fact, it's uploading now, and it'll be out sometime this evening or tomorrow, is 2 years ago I made a massive mess up. And it was kind of on the level of Cecil's mess up of he had said that Cyrix was a good guy trying to do good things and we should support him and blah blah blah. Oh, it was that level of mess up on my part, because I covered a new foundation that was being set up by a guy called Aaron Smith Levin. He was thrown off the Aftermath Foundation. Now, this foundation was to support people that were just out of Scientology and needed help getting on with everyday life. Because when you're in a cult like Scientology, your brain is basically altered to think in a different way. Very similar to a narcissist. Now, at the time, 2 years ago, there's a guy on the board of the Aftermath Foundation called Mike Render. Mike Render was a guy from he left Scientology, but in his time in Scientology, he was the head of a department in Scientology called the Office of Special Affairs. Now, you may have seen some Scientology videos where, guys in black suits turn up at your house because you ran away from Scientology and they're trying to get you back and they're intimidating you, or you left Scientology, you spoke out about them, and they're sending PIs to your house to keep an eye on you, possibly kill your dog, do all sorts of messed up shit. Mike Render was the head of that department that covered up crimes within Scientology. I had no time for this guy. And here's the mistake that a lot of us make. Now, when you think about Cecil says, on a video, that Cyrix was a good guy trying to do good things. Very stupid thing to do. But here's the thing. Sometimes we can pick a side without seeing the other side. And then we make a judgment on that. We can all be guilty of it at some point. Now, my big mess up was that I promoted, and I only got 150 views or whatever. I promoted this foundation called the SPTV Foundation. Aaron Smith Levin was part of the Aftermath Foundation, and he got kicked out of the Aftermath Foundation for a number of different very concerning things that was happening in his personal life that was impacting the foundation. Now, you got to remember, these people are supposed to have kindness and empathy in helping people get out of Scientology and that. And Aaron's behaviour and his mannerisms don't fit that. Now, the board members of the Aftermath Foundation were all couples and stuff, and they were all friends. They went to holidays with each other and stuff like that. Now, Aaron was a friend of Mike Render and Claire Headley, all these people, Amy Scobie, the whole shebang. But Aaron was affecting the Aftermath Foundation in a very negative way, and something had to be done. So he had to be kicked off the Aftermath Foundation after a number of scandals. One, or more than one, involved physical altercations with women. At the time, Aaron tried to cover all this up, and he put out a self-defense flipping argument and stuff like that. But because Aaron was a big YouTuber exposing Scientology, on the face of it, he was a good guy. And in some cases, people are still being fooled. But behind it all was a narcissistic type behavior that you sometimes become blind to, because you can have a bad guy actually doing good things, and the good things may blind you from seeing the bad things. In Cecil's case, Cecil didn't know anything about Cyrix. And we called out, some of the viewers here, or some of the community, reached out to Cecil and says, what are you promoting Cyrix for? Cyrix done X, Y, and a Z. And then Cecil comes on and he says, he makes a video and he says, I didn't know that, so it's not my fault. But you're saying Cyrix is a good guy trying to do good things. You're exposing people to support Cyrix, who in turn could abuse some of these people. But Cecil didn't take responsibility for that because he didn't know. And he didn't apologise, he didn't do any of those things. But he was blindsided because it was us. The information that he knew about Cyrix was all true and came from us. That's the information he got. But we're the bad people. So he's not going to believe the bad people. So if we're calling out bad people, Cecil is going to call them good people because they're being attacked by bad people. Unfortunately, I fell down that trap too, in relation to Aaron Smith Levin and the Aftermath Foundation and SPTV. And I made a video. And I was saying, Aaron got kicked off the Aftermath Foundation and Mike Render was involved. And I don't like Mike Render, and Mike Render, done this and that and all the rest of it. And I'm thinking, further down the line, I'm going, when board members started flipping leaving, very shortly after the foundation started, this SPTV Foundation, the SPTV Foundation was a big FU to the Aftermath Foundation that he just got thrown off. This is 2 years ago. Very quickly after that, board members started dropping off. And started speaking out. Now, the first couple of times I was going, yeah, these people are haters. They're just, you know what I mean? Aaron's trying to do a good job here, and he's trying to help people get out of Scientology and stuff like that. But it continued, and continued, and continued. And I'm going, oh no. I backed the wrong horse here. I'm seeing a pattern of behaviour and then making videos. Oh, I'm going out with this girl and she, she's making now videos of me, accusing me of physical and verbal abuse and that, and making up all sorts of excuses. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is kind of a hate campaign or something like that at first. But it continued with multiple women. And I'm going, yeah, I kind of fucked up here. So it's very, very easy to fall into that trap that Cecil fell into, promoting Cyrix, because basically we called Cyrix out and we made videos on him. Calling him out, exposing, bad things or whatever. But because in Cecil's eyes, we were bad people, Cyrix was a good guy trying to do good things. Until he really found out. And then didn't take any responsibility. I'm taking responsibility for my fuck up for promoting SPTV Foundation. I completely fucked up there. And I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a couple of videos addressing all that. I'm not bowing out of responsibility for promoting something without looking completely at the facts. But the thing is, and it's not an excuse, a lot of us were duped by this guy, this flipping Aaron Smith Levin. We were all duped. And then we found out, and he made a complete tool of the whole lot of us. But the thing is, you can take responsibility. You can look back on that and say, right, this is where I went wrong. I didn't look at the opposite side. I didn't look at Mike Render's side because as far as I was concerned, Mike Render, wasn't a good guy in my books. But before Mike Render died, he died of cancer. He came out with a load of videos. I think it's about 6 videos, about 20 minutes each, exposing exactly what happened. And up until that point, they kind of kept most of it quiet because they didn't want to get caught up in too much of Aaron Smith's dramatic personal life, because it would affect the Aftermath Foundation in a very bad way. So they kept their mouth shut. But when Mike was months from passing away, he decided he was going to spill the beans. He was basically saying, I'm trying to think positively and I'm trying to spiritually enlighten myself and all that. But before that, hold my beer, because I've got things to say. Because people are speculating and stuff like that. I'm going to come out with the facts here, and of course, Aaron comes out with a video saying that, Mike Render's a liar and blah, 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 just to defend himself. But the thing is, I seen the pattern. Aaron messes up so badly, but he's very good at making excuses for things and never once apologizes. And it's kind of like, it's a thing called Darvo manipulation tactics, manipulating people into supporting him, and there's people on his channel there, and a lot of them are women supporting this guy who's being caught out and being involved in a number of women's lives and verbally and physically abused them. And in their eyes, Aaron's still a good guy. They're not seeing the wood from the trees here. I'm kind of lucky that I actually copped on at some point. But some of these people are still blindly following this guy. Now, if I was a bigger YouTuber, or if this video that comes out gets a lot of attention and it gets into the hands of some of these people, I'm going to have a really hard time here because these people are brutal. It's like they came out of a cult of Scientology and went straight into SPTV, who's acting like a cult, and Aaron Smith Levin is acting like the leader. But these people are blind to it. The point is, if you see a point of view for somebody that you support on YouTube or Facebook or whatever you watch, TikTok or whatever, and you see opposition to that, look at the opposition as well, and don't skimp over it. Look at everything. Don't just judge the person. Look at both sides before you make a decision. Now, obviously, in a lot of cases I do. But I kind of had the wool pulled over my eyes in this particular case. And I'm kind of lucky I only got 150 views on that video. But I do apologise for promoting SPTV, because now I see my error in my ways, because I could have encouraged, that video could have encouraged people that were leaving Scientology, that were mentally and physically scarred from being in Scientology, to go from the frying pan into the fire. The same thing when Cecil promoted Cyrix. He was putting people at flipping risk, but he never took responsibility for it because he made excuses for it. The same thing that Aaron Smith Levin does. Makes excuses for things. So always look at both sides. So the next video is it's going to be a couple of videos. Now I'm not fully getting into the nitty gritty, but I'm going to go through two of Mike Render's deathbed exposés on Aaron Smith Levin. Now you got to remember, it was a guy I didn't have respect for, but a lot of these behaviours that he's exposed has actually come true. That Aaron Smith Levin is is a complete and utter red flag. But a lot of these women are still flipping. They love the ground he walks on. So don't be blinded by one side. Always look at both sides before you flipping make a judgment. But the thing is, now, reason I'm bringing all that up is Cecil wanted us to take the heat off him and talk about other people that have platforms. You should have kept your mouth shut about that, Cecil, because I am going to do exactly that. And it's going to bring more traction than I'm getting from you. And some of those people are going to want more, and they're going to look for more, and they're going to find my videos on you. I mean, how stupid can you be? Master Shredder made a short outside Cyrix's house. Now, he didn't dox him because Cyrix's house is flipping public information at this point, because I think he doxed himself and blah, blah, blah. It's public information at this point. But that video got a lot of views. That brought more traction to his flipping videos. That brought more traction to his channel, which mostly revolved around Cecil. And people are going to look to the videos and go, who's this Cecil guy? Let's find out. So Cecil, we keep telling you, you need to think before you open your mouth. Because, yeah, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to make videos on people that have a flipping following, and yeah, it possibly going to bring more people to my channel, and they're going to find out about you, Cecil. You didn't think about that before you opened your mouth, did you? Talk to you soon. I'll get this video out as soon as possible. Bye bye and have a good day.